In this video, we're going to cover the basics of string processing in Python. You can skip this if you're already familiar with Python and Unicode. In this first video, we're going to cover the basics of string processing, and then in the next video in this chapter, we're going to cover Python 2 and Python 3 in Unicode. The basics of string processing. So strings are sequences of characters, and these strings are immutable. So let's take a look at some code and see how all this works. So first line here, we see that we have chicken and man, and we can add those together to get chicken man. Here on this next line, we see that we can print the character at the first index. On the second line of the second box here, we could do slicing. We can slice from the third character all the way to the end. And on the next line within that box, we can slice from the third character all the way to the end except for the last character, because -1 has us going back the other direction. So here we see H, man, and ma. On the third box, we see something important, something that we'll do a lot, is you can check to see if one string is in another string, and this is a really quick and dirty way to see if the information you're looking for is in the string you want. So you can see if hi is in chicken man, it will be. Xi will not be. Hi uppercase will not be. However, we can do hi lower, and that will be. So this lower function converts the string to a lowercase. On this fourth line within this box, we have a hi, but it's uppercase, but we convert it using a function to lowercase. Of course, because strings are immutable, you actually get a different string back that's used to check within A. When we run this, we see true, false, false, true. So it means the hi is in A, Xi is not, hi uppercase is not, but the hi lowered is. You can also check with special functions the starting and ending of a string. So you have starts with ch or ends with man. Both of those are true. Here we start to see where strings cannot be changed. They are immutable. So we can print a string and we can even print what is at index 3. But if we try to assign index 3 to a value x, we're going to get an error. So if we want to get a new string, what we do is we take the first part of the string, we use that slicing we saw earlier, up to the index 3, add x, and then take index 4 onto the end. We have chicken man and chicken man. Notice how it does not include the character at index 3, which is the fourth character, because we take the slice up to 3, but not including index 3. That's just the way Python works. And so we have chi, index 0, 1, and 2, then we have the x. On this next box, we see that we can split a string based on a character. And so this is a quick and dirty tokenizer. So we can split the string and print it out as a list where we have a list of strings. Now notice how the last word, cars, has a period on the end of it. Normally we would like that period to not be part of cars, and we'll see in later videos how we can do that with more advanced tokenizers. On this next box, we see what happens when we get a line from a file. It often has a line break on the end. So if we just print that off, it's going to print off hi there plus a blank before next line. So what we do is a special function called strip, which pulls out that end line break. And so when we run that, we see hi there, blank line, next line, hi there. Since we stripped it, we don't have that blank line. You can also replace characters in a string. So if we want to say we enjoy tacos instead of loving tacos, we can say I love tacos dot replace love with enjoy. And when we print that string, we get what we want, assuming that's what we wanted. On the next line, you see that you can have strings in multiple ways. So you can have a single quote, you can have a double quote, you can have 3 single quotes and 3 double quotes. Generally, you'll use the single quote and double quote and the 3 quotes in a row for documentation or strings that go over multiple lines. On this next line, we see that the color of the string changes midway through, and that's because the parser is confused. Instead of seeing I can't believe it, it sees I can, and then it doesn't know what to think. And that's because we need to escape that quotation mark and can't. We can do that in 2 ways. But before we do that, let's run it and see the error, invalid syntax. We can fix this problem in 2 ways. We can encode the single quotes within double quotes, so I can't believe it is fine, or we can use the escape character, and either one of these will work. So we have seen how to process strings in Python.